Hello everyone, welcome to Reactify Labs. Today we are going to talk about another structural design pattern called adapter design pattern. And starting with the headline, it will be adapter pattern. Okay, so if we go with the technical definition, it is adapter design pattern is a structural design pattern that allows objects with incompatible interfaces to collaborate. So incompatible objects will work together in this. I will take two, three examples, some hardware examples which we use, which we see in daily life, and some software examples also, just to make you guys aware that okay, this is how you should visualize it in terms of software. Because with hardware example, it becomes hard to visualize it, right? So let's see how it works. The most famous example in hardware is the charger example, the mobile charger or laptop charger. So, if you see in India, we have the charging points as like this. We have this, we have this, we have this. But in US, we have charging points like this, like this. Okay. So, if we have an Indian charger like this, okay, forget it. If we have an Indian charger, we won't be able to use Indian charger here or the US charger here. We cannot use it. So what happens is this US charger, what we do is we take this US charger. If we have to use this US charger in India, we take an Indian adapter. Okay. So what happens is the adapter looks like this. From the back, it looks like this, so that US charger fits into this, and from the front, it looks like this. So it has pins. Okay, the big pin, the small pin, and this. So this is the front view, this is the back view, and these pins go inside these. Okay, so that this charger fits well, even though being from US, it fits well in the Indian charging point. Similar is the case with Indian chargers fitting in the US. So you have to use an adapter which makes these surfaces compatible basically. Mm, this is a very classic example of the adapter pattern, and the thing that we are using for this charger compatibility is called an adapter. That's why it's named so. Okay, for the software example, let's say we have something like what do I say, file reader. Okay, so we have an app. Okay, let's say this app was made 20 years ago, and at that time there was only one functionality called CSV reading. It's not fact, I am just making it up. Okay, assume it has CSV reading, and so you made that and you gave it a read feature. But okay, whenever somebody has to read, so what they will do is they will create an object of CSV reading space CSV, and they will just call csv.read to read it, and your life was going well, right? But what happened later is a lot of new technologies involved, and somebody came up and that person said, if you have to make sure that your functionality, that your read feature keeps working, what you need to do is you need to make sure that I can use it. And now that we have multiple types of reading, for example, XML reading, PDF reading, doc reading, CSV reading. So that person wants that this your system should be compatible with each of these. Like that person should not have to depend on one extra thing only for your reading. It should be compatible. Okay. So you have to rely on an adapter basically in that case, which converts your reading feature into the common reading feature, and so that the app can be used continuously. I hope this clears the use case. Okay. Now that use case is cleared, let's see how this is implemented. Okay. So for implementing this, what we do is, let's take an example of that same CSV thing. So we have a CSV reader class. Okay. This is CSV reader class. It has a function called read. And what it does is it takes a file name to read it. Okay. And there is some logic here. Now, a new vendor came and that person wants to make sure that your feature is also here. Your feature should keep working fine. And an adapter is provided for that. So what that person wants to do is, that person wants that he should not have to depend on each individual classes. So he will just make an interface called file reader. Okay. So there will be an interface called file reader. And what this interface will do is, whoever is going to use this, what that person will do is, let's assume we have a client here. What that person will do is file reader space file reader equal to new file reader. An object will be called, and not new file reader, new whatever reader is. Let's say new CSV reader or XML reader, anything. And here that person is going to initialize and he's going to use the same thing, file reader dot read from CSV. And if your code is not compatible now, you do not have an adapter to handle this, read from CSV is not going to call this read, because they are having different names, right? So that's why you have to make sure that the compatibility comes up, and adapter should take care of that. And how that will happen, we will see that in this interface of file reader. Let's see. It's very easy. Interface file reader, and this will have a class called CSV file reader. Earlier we had CSV reader. Here we will name it CSV file reader. So we have this class CSV file reader, and it has a function called read from CSV. Read, basically read from CSV. Okay. And it will have a file name, obviously. It will also have a file name. And what do you have to do is, you have to make sure that this read from CSV function calls this read, right? So this read will be called, correct? So you have to make sure that this read needs to be called. And how will this read be called? Will it be called by default? How will it know that it has to call this read? We need an object of the CSV reader here. CSV reader space CSV reader, and you have to call it using CSV reader dot read file. Now when this read will be called, the call will go here. This will come and see that, okay, this CSV reader needs to call this. So this CSV reader needs to call this read. So this read will be called, and your CSV reader's read functionality is still intact even 20, 25, 30 years, 100 years later. That's how you make your code compatible with changes, by making sure that your code adapts to the latest changes by using the adapter design pattern. So I hope this clears the adapter design pattern for you. This was, I believe, very easy, and I think all the structural design patterns are quite easy, quite simple. The videos also don't take more than 10-12 minutes. So I hope this clears everything about adapter design pattern. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.